Hello, today is really amazing day because I managed to invite enjoyRevit HyunWoo Kim. He's licensed architect in Korea, internationally more well known with his YouTube and blog called enjoyRevit. Thank you very much for attending today for this interview, and we are going to do about 30 minutes interview today, and I hope you can encourage our community in a more inspiration way. Okay, could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, hi. My name is HyunWoo Kim, and I'm an architect in Korea, of course, South Korea, and Revit lover. That's all.
And I know, as far as I know, you also operating your own architectural practice. Could you also shortly introduce about your practice?
Well, my practice are I do all of them, you know,
Hmm.
for, to make money. Why not? Why not do it? Nothing.
Yeah,
Just
it's called
you have to do
iNex
anything.
Architects. Yeah, iNex
Yeah, I'm an
Architects.
architect. Yeah, it's my firm.
Okay, great. And you also involved in teaching at university some point, or
Yeah, sometimes. I think not this year.
okay, so depends
Yeah,
on depends on
yeah.
the semester. Thank you. And I know you have YouTube channel called Enjoy Revit, and I think most of people really know about you through your channel. Could you tell us about your YouTube channel? What is it about, and what's your perspective in the future for your YouTube channel?
Well, just as the title, it's all about how to enjoy Revit. In the first couple of years after I started using Revit, I remember it's 2010.
Hmm.
It was not that easy for me to learn Revit because it was hard to find someone who can answer my questions about Revit here in Korea,
Hmm.
you know. So I had to explore all around the world to get some answers on the internet. And at some point, I realized that I found some interesting unknown tips to share back. So I started to write them on my blog with some YouTube videos.
Hmm.
That's the beginning of my channel. I'm getting lazy to upload the new videos after I have my own farm, but I'm still trying to continue my channel. I
Wow.
really enjoy sharing my ideas
Yeah.
with World Revit users.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
for me personally, I've never seen a person like you who use Revit in such a very creative way and with a pure Revit function in terms of, let's say, adaptive components or like Dynamo or pure skills, showing amazing Revit skills. And I think it will be really nice if you can continue to share your knowledge in the future so we can continue our conversation also.
Okay, I try.
Thank you very much. And what is your favorite software or programming language, and if you have, and why?
Uh, of course, Revit, and I'm not a programmer, so I don't know about script languages, but I love to use Dynamo and with some Python script.
Hmm.
I I studied a little bit about Python.
That's great.
The main reason why I used Revit and Dynamo it's efficiency. I think it's
Hmm.
because of its efficiency. I always focus on efficiency in my work. I really don't like overtime.
Hmm.
Revit helps me finish my project on time, and Dynamo makes it even faster.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Dynamo is actually it's a visual programming, but it's kind of programming, and we know that you also introduced some Python script integrate with your Dynamo, and it was
Yeah.
very appreciate. And so I think you mastered Revit. I would say it's like there's nothing much to do from your side on your side to see something new in Revit. Am I right? or do you still
Mm,
discovering something every day?
well, people say that sometimes. I'm not sure, but I really enjoy Dynamo, use Dynamo these
Mm-hmm.
days
Mm-hmm.
because Dynamo can make something unique, uh, my own idea with my own ideas. So it's very enjoyable.
That's great. So yeah, Dynamo has a little bit more potential
Yeah.
out of box from Revit.
Yeah, not only potential,
Mm-hmm.
it's really convenient.
It's really working. You
Yeah, yeah, practical and convenient.
That's great. So
Yeah.
my next question is, so based on that your Dynamo answer, I believe that parametric design tools such as Revit or Dynamo are very useful in everyday practice. And you also mentioned that it's practice and efficient. And how do you think in reality when you script, let's say Dynamo, and share the script with your colleagues? Do they really appreciate this parametric design methodology, or does it really help for your everyday practice in reality?
Well, I think I'm not sure what you are talking about parametric design. In one way,
Mm-hmm.
Revit is parametric design tool as it is. It
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of parameters you can control,
Yep.
and I think parameters are the essence of the Revit,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think. And I use Dynamo sometimes. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
um, if you're talking about computational design method,
Mm-hmm.
well, I saw some practices
Mm-hmm.
you did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are not many chances for me to use in that way in my real projects.
Mm-hmm.
It's really rare, kind
Mm-hmm.
of. You know, so that's all.
Okay.
Parameter design is very important, but Revit. I think Revit users are
Yeah.
already using
Yeah.
that.
Revit is like real, like everything is
Yeah,
parameterized and
yeah.
linked each other, so it's pure parametric software, and you can also use it for design tools. So I really agree with that. Um, Next question is, what is your perspective on BIM and industry?
Well, you mean BIM?
Yes.
Actually, I don't like the word BIM.
All right. What?
Yeah, I love Revit not because it's BIM, but because it's just a great tool
Mm-hmm.
for my projects.
Mm-hmm.
I think many people talk about BIM, but I don't think each of them are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just a tool for my project
Mm-hmm.
design
Mm-hmm.
and making some documentations.
Mm-hmm.
But for some others, it could be about construction or estimate or maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, 3D, 4D, 5D, I don't know. So I think
Mm-hmm.
PIM contains every computer technology about building, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
If it does, how can I say it's just a trend? So BIM is the present and
Mm-hmm.
the future at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can say the same 20 years later.
Yeah. Right. Could be right. Actually, I also don't really like all this terminology called building information modeling, because at the end of the day, it's almost same as what we've done last like years of traditional way. It's just more digitalization tools are involved, and project team parties, they are more involved in collaboration platform. But it's confusing, and a lot of, like, there are too many people who only talking about these beam dimensions, and in reality they never really follow sometimes. So it's tricky words. I really agree with that. And I would like to ask you, how is it in Korea particularly? Is it mandatory to document or proceed public project in specific data format, say BIM workflow, or is it still depends on the contract?
It depends.
It depends.
Now in Korea, it's not not going very fast. It's going very slow, and the BIM industry is very slow, not running, it's just walking. So most of BIM tool, BIM softwares are used at construction site for not for instead of they have been as shop drawing,
Yeah.
shop drawing in or by CAD, but they are changing it to BIM's modeling. So that's maybe it's 30 or 70 or 8% at there. BIM softwares are are being used in that position. And for designers or architect, I don't think it's very popular yet.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Korea.
totally understand. So so let's say depends on project, especially for the public project, it can be 70 to 80% of projects runs in Revit. But private sectors, especially for architects or architectural design domain, it's not really necessary to or not popular to do BIM work through. BIM is anyway a funny word. A lot of people confuse between BIM and specific software like Revit or ArchiCAD.
That's right.
So I guess the people say many BIM terms or closed BIM and open BIM and etc. And are you somehow also involved in building smart in Korea, or is it more like your own practice in terms of BIM?
Well, I'm a member of BIM Smart Building Association in Korea. Not for do something in that group, but just I thought I have to because I have a reputation. So,
All right.
so I joined that association. But like I said, I don't like the word BIM. I just love to use Revit for my project as it is.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not really interested in BIM.
In this big group, or when you use let's say Revit, I assume this is more or less only architectural model and structural model probably. Do you also get HVAC or electro model from third consultants or?
Well, in Korea, there are not many third consultants for MEP part. So I rarely use that MEP part in Revit. So I'm my real project, I always convert my model to CAD 2D files and share them to do their jobs.
Okay.
So,
So
that's
still,
my
so
process in
right.
Korea.
So MEP part is still some point is missing. Depends on project, but okay, that's also interesting. I think it's nothing different in global level. For me, also worked in Australia or Germany and Austria. Generally speaking, small project or general project. Actually, most of case MEP components are in 2D planning.
In
And
Korea, there are some companies who can do MEP models, BI models, but if I do that, it will be very. I have to pay a lot of money.
Okay, they are very expensive.
Comparing based on 2D
Okay.
engineering,
Okay.
that's
That's
even more expensive.
That's the one of the difficulties to involve with the 3D BIM planning from MEP side. All right, that's good to know. And it seems like everyone is BIM manager these days. When you go to the meeting, I don't know how situation in Korea, but for me, at least when I involved in coordination meeting, random guys, everyone sitting on the table, they are all BIM managers. So sometimes to be honest, a lot of them has no idea about the BIM, but maybe politically they come as a BIM manager or BIM officer, they say. Do you think, I don't know in Korea, how important BIM manager's role in reality, or do you feel the project team in your organization or when you involved in another project as an architect, do they really respect BIM managers from your experience?
Um, in an ideal project,
Yeah.
I think yes, it they can respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if someone understands every single design idea
Mm-hmm.
and every single model parameters
Mm-hmm.
at the same time
Mm-hmm.
and has perfect communication skills,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he should be a great,
Mm-hmm.
respectable BI
Mm-hmm.
manager. But
Mm-hmm.
I just a few can do it as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are, I think, just chief modelers
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, who can control the main model and know the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's all I think. But I think the second case is usually expectable.
Yeah.
And well, I can't say he is great, but respectable enough, I think,
Okay.
in
So
Korea.
in Korea, okay, right.
Yeah,
Um,
but
mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure every BI manager, like I
Mhm.
said, every BI manager can do it at least. I'm not sure of that.
It's also a tricky question. So, my next question is without saying, automatically it goes to who is eligible for the BIM manager in your opinion? Like who would be good person, perfect person to be BIM manager?
Of course, deep understanding about BIM software
Mm-hmm.
and communication skills are basically expected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And to understand not BIM but architecture,
Mm-hmm.
a few years of field experience of architecture design
Mm-hmm.
or construction is necessary, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you saying that software skills, just a background, is one of the important aspects.
Yeah, it's just a basic,
Yeah,
I think.
it's a basic, but
Yeah,
if but at the same time, someone who has field experience from construction side, and as well as if they are architect, then they
yeah,
need minimum of couple of years
yeah.
of architectural planning experience, so it can be balanced, right? But what if someone is really good, let's say project manager, in architectural planning side, or maybe construction manager who is really good understanding of planning stages, and if they but they let's say they don't know BIM in they know the theory of the BIM, but they don't know the technical part of the BIM.
Yeah.
And a lot of case BIM managers are like that in reality in all of the world, because it's difficult to get both balance. And what do you think about it? So if someone doesn't know, let's say your tool or another consultant's tool, Revit or ArchiCAD or Plan or any other BIM tools they not interested in, but they just have good understanding about planning stages, and they becomes BIM manager. What do you think about this situation?
I can't say they can be a BIM manager because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the deep understanding of BIM software is basically
Mm-hmm.
necessary
It's a
for
basic
BIM
rev, yeah.
manager.
So that's
Uh,
yeah.
well, because if you don't know that,
Mm-hmm.
how can I do, how can I know the result of the
Right,
model?
right.
Yeah.
So
So
it
I think that way.
okay. So it's really so the BIM skill, let's say software skills is prerequisite basic base to be a BIM manager, and on top of that, this planning
Yeah.
experience is important.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be the perfect BIM manager in Korea then, Hyunwoo.
Maybe, but I don't want to be a manager. I
Sure.
just want to be an architect.
Architect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's even clear. Right. So next question is, do you think student of AECO industry, let's say building industry, should learn about BIM at university?
Sure, why not? Students can use BIM software for their own projects at school
Mm-hmm.
if they learn, and it will enhance the quality of their projects for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know it doesn't mean they can join a professional project immediately, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's better to learn professional BIM knowledge if they learn
Mm-hmm.
the basics at university,
At
I think.
university, because
Yeah.
I studied in Australia and Austria, but there was no BIM, particular say BIM elective course or short course for the BIM. There was no such a thing. So most of students just running lots of academic like theory and history, design studio things, but it's still lack of sort of, let's say, practical experience in reality. How is situation in Korea? Because you are teaching as an assistant professor there in some of the university. Is it getting more popular uh, to have program at university, BIM program?
Yeah, sure. I
Okay.
I I believe most of architect major university
Mm-hmm.
has a curriculum about BIM software.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe most of them are Revit
Mm-hmm.
involved. And second thought, I have experience of lecturing university. In my experience, there was not many of them really understood what I said, about Revit. Most of them are not very interested,
Mm-hmm.
and so just of maybe one or two per
Mm-hmm.
10 maybe
One or
understood
two.
my lecture, I think.
Really?
Maybe it's because I'm not a good professor.
No, I don't think so. But so this at least you say the majority of architectural school university in Korea they have BIM course. Um, but maybe that means maybe it's lack of BIM course in MEP engineers part, or perhaps real estatement, or I don't know, facility management side. Maybe they not really having BIM course, you think, in Korea, or they also have it, but majority of students they are not
I don't think
interested.
so. They don't have the course in university. Only architecture major has
Okay,
have
okay.
BIM course, I think.
That is also some kind of missing part in
Yeah,
real
maybe.
practice, and
Yeah,
that's why I guess the price of contract between MEP BIM engineers are higher, because maybe it's a narrow market, and they have
yeah,
more.
yeah.
Yeah, they will just price up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
for architect major, the students is I think it's more easier to learn. We already learned about three-dimensional
Mhm.
space
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
in the school,
Yep.
but for electronic or machine parts, they're not very interested in three-dimensional space at the
Yeah. Yeah.
first time. So I think it's very strange for them.
Yeah, I guess also
Oh,
many mechanical engineers or electronic engineers, they are not sure if they're going to work in building industry. They may
yeah,
work for automobile industry
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
ship industry or many other choices. Building industry is maybe not that popular, so they maybe, yeah, it's same situation all over the world. And I was also trying to convince some of the university to collaborate with different department, but it is very difficult to promote it because of the lack of interest from student side. Okay, that's very good answer. Thank you very much for that. So, um, my next question is a bit tricky, but I think you
yeah.
could give us really good answer. So there is still a huge gap to understand digital workflow between the senior positions and the young graduates. So let's say a lot of young graduates from university they understand digital tools such as Revit or ArchiCAD. They are familiar with the tools, but a lot of senior positions, they are good in planning experience, but they are not maybe interested in this sort of digital tools, or they completely don't understand the tools. So it's always difficult to connect the gap between the senior position and young graduates in practice. As so far from my experience, ha- I was I've been couple of position in BIM manager position, but that was always difficult task to somehow how I can bridge the gap between senior positions and also young position to work together. What would you suggest? What is your tip? Because you are senior architects and operating your own architectural office. At the same time, you're very technical with BIM and digital tools. So I think you could give us really good advice.
Uh, well, for both, I want to say learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Learn the new technology for CAD generation,
Mm-hmm.
learn traditional engineering for the BIM generation.
Mm-hmm.
Both are equally important, I think.
That's right.
I think any of new technologies are not really invented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of them are just developed
Mm-hmm.
from old ones,
Mm-hmm.
I think, not invented.
Mm-hmm.
So if they understand
Mm-hmm.
the relationship of old and new,
Mm-hmm.
it will help to understand each other more easily, I think.
Mm-hmm. So it's like each other they respect and compromising each other in the middle point. So the juniors should understand or respect the seniors or experience and the knowledge of plannings. But at the same time, seniors also should respect
Yeah,
juniors'
yeah,
skills.
that's right.
So this
That's right.
respect is the one of the
Yeah,
solution each other.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it was I had have already 20 years, about 15 years experience before I
Mm-hmm.
used Revit.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had a lot of experience in 2D,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
CAD engineering. So I really believe that that experience makes me easier
Mm-hmm.
for me to understand a new BIM, I mean
Mm-hmm.
Revit
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
technology. So I know
Mm-hmm.
what to make with that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
by three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what I have to make as a document. So I have a goal before I learn Revit.
Wow.
So I had studied the Revit,
Mm-hmm.
and on that way I can go
Mm-hmm.
to the goal.
Well, we really respect about that because actually, as you said, it's nothing invented. Everything is just developed
Yeah,
from the same path. So it's actually not really difficult to follow it. But I guess people just get more stress or maybe too busy in their head, so they
yeah,
cannot. It's the same as your YouTube channel, like or your blog. They maybe not seem to enjoy Revit or enjoy BIM. So as
yeah,
one of the solution could be we have to enjoy new things and
yeah,
just
yeah,
continue to
yeah.
develop.
Yeah, that's the best way, I think.
I think that's the way to survive in our industry, I think. All right, that's good. I have last question, Hyunwoo. So to me, I'm learning every day something new, and these days I'm interested in programming and also game development, just as a hobby. Um, if you have anything you wish to learn in the future or everyday practice, what would you like to learn in terms of like I don't know knowledge or skills? I don't know business model. I'm not sure, but do you have any? Because I don't think you will learn anything about Revit now. But
I feel the same. I feel the same that I'm learning every day like you,
I,
but I'm getting old at the same time. For now, I'm quite interested in VR
VR.
and as an architect, VR is quite attractive
Mm-hmm.
because it can, we can make people understand
Mm-hmm.
space
Mm-hmm.
and shapes more directly
Mm-hmm.
on real
Mm-hmm.
scale,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not like on monitors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it would be great if I could make one, make
Okay.
software about it. But I don't think I can do it because it's not my job. I'm not a programmer. I'm an
Uh-huh.
architect. So maybe. So if I find any good software about VR for me,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make best use of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
understand.
that's the best way. And there are always things to learn about Revit
Yeah.
and Dynamo, even for me, why Autodesk upgrade them
Mm-hmm.
every year. So I have to learn that and many times, every time.
Okay, so you are interested in also this visualization in space, say
Yeah,
virtual reality,
yeah.
and at the same time, if any updates from Autodesk, then you also want to catch up. Thanks very much for your all answers today. It's really inspirational for everyone.
Thank you
Uh,
for your invitation.
I hope I could somehow pay you for the interview, but it's just the reason we are doing is
I'm very expensive.
that's why we are volunteering, and thanks really a lot for joining this interview today. I think we learned from you and your all your experience answer, your honest answer would be really helpful for our community. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I would like to summarize today's interview. So HyunWoo Kim is again he's a licensed architect in Korea, and I'll put his YouTube link and blog and also his architectural office link down on the description box. And if you have any, I mean, through his channel, everyone has a lot of comments and questions, but I guess you can always feel free to ask him a Revit question because he's a Revit super expert. I think top in the world, world class Revit expert.
Please
And
don't.
yeah, and I personally I also admire. When I was student at university, I was watching your tutorials and your channel. I think that time you had blog. I'm not sure if there was YouTube channel, but I was watching like reading article from your blogs, and I was really impressed. And today is a really special day for me that I can talk to you like that. All
Me
right.
too.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And then we greet each other, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully, one day when you meet in Korea or somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.